It's been at the heart of our communities. Sooner Plains Ag is proud to support all area students and athletes from their hometowns and yours. Sooner Plains Ag is ready to service your grain, fertilizer, and farm supply needs. You can also fill up at one of their 2 convenience stores in Fairview and Mino. Sooner Plains Ag is honored to serve their member owners in their 4-county area for more than 100 years. Sooner Plains Ag, farmers helping farmers. It's that simple.
The High Plains Insurance Agency takes pride in keeping up with many changes in the crop insurance industry and keeping their insurers informed of these changes. The goal is to help each farmer customize their crop insurance to meet their needs. Thanks for your continued business. And remember, call Amy, Carissa, or Danny at High Plains Insurance in Medford and Loyal at 580-395-2447 or toll free at 1-800-346-4056 for a quote today.
Martin's Machine Shop, a family-owned business since 1974, serves Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. They offer full machine shop, welding, and metal working capabilities for repair and fabrication. Their fluid power division repairs hydraulic cylinders, pumps, motors, and valves, and includes a full inventory of 6,000 PSI hose and fittings. Give them a call at 580-227-2734 or connect through their website, www.martinsmachineshop.com, to see how they can assist you today.
Have you been thinking about shopping around for your insurance? Ewing Insurance offers home, auto, farm, commercial general liability, commercial property, commercial auto, workers' comp, life, and health insurance. We're an independent agent, so we have many carriers to choose from to get you the best rates. Ewing Insurance is located at 624 North Main Street in Fairview. Stop by or call us at 580-227-4333. Talk to Charla for commercial lines or Nancy for personal lines. Nick Ewing is a graduate of Fairview High School and a proud supporter of Fairview athletics. We wish the Yellow Jackets the best as they are gold ball chasing. Go Jackets!
When looking to purchase or market your livestock, choose the Fairview Livestock Commission Company. Family owned and operated, we're proud to be Northwest Oklahoma's first choice for your cattle marketing needs. Cattle sales are every Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Replacement cow sale this Tuesday, December 6th at 6 o'clock p.m. K.L. James, 580-227-3797. Go Yellow Jackets.
Farmers and Merchants National Bank is Fairview's hometown bank, serving you. Committed to providing the Fairview area with the latest in banking services and convenience. Farmers and Merchants is a locally owned and operated bank, eager to serve your personal and professional banking needs. With a pledge to exceed the expectations of their customers, the staff is confident in their ability to provide you with an exceptional banking experience. Farmers and Merchants National Bank in Fairview, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Pinnacle Ag Insurance is proud of all the student athletes participating in today's event and wants to wish all the seniors good luck in their next chapter of life. At Pinnacle Ag Insurance, they understand your needs because they're not just insurance agents, they're also farmers. So you know you're getting the most comprehensive coverage from people just like you. Pinnacle is proud to serve fellow farmers and wants to create a plan that best suits you, your family, and your budget. Insure locally. Call 580-412-2092. See the difference for yourself at Pinnacle Ag Insurance.
Jensen's of Fairview is celebrating 91 years. Currently, special pricing and financing available on select GMC units in stock. Hurry, as these units and offers won't last. Jensen's, the best prices in Northwest Oklahoma on your new and used vehicles. So come see why generations of customers have been choosing Jensen's to serve their automotive needs. Same family, same business, same location for 9 decades. Go Jackets! Kid Drug is second to none in Northwest Oklahoma. We are known for our beautiful home and holiday accessories, women's fashion, toys, candles, expansive kitchenware, and pampering bath and body lines. We offer lovely bridal and baby registries. Come experience our old-fashioned soda fountain treats, including the best malts and shakes you've ever tasted. Our pharmacy has been serving the Fairview and surrounding areas for more than 30 years. We accept most third-party insurance and have a complete line of over-the-counter medications, prescription drugs, and durable medical goods. So come see us at Kid Drug, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8:30 to 3 p.m. Saturdays.
For over a century, Sooner Plains Ag has been at the heart of our communities. Sooner Plains Ag is proud to support all area students and athletes from their hometowns and yours. Sooner Plains Ag is ready to service your grain, fertilizer, and farm supply needs. You can also fill up at one of their 2 convenience stores in Fairview and Mino. Sooner Plains Ag is honored to serve their member owners in their 4-county area for more than 100 years. Sooner Plains Ag, farmers helping farmers. It's that simple.
The High Plains Insurance Agency takes pride in keeping up with many changes in the crop insurance industry and keeping their insurers informed of these changes. The goal is to help each farmer customize their crop insurance to meet their needs. Thanks for your continued business, and remember, call Amy, Carissa, or Danny at High Plains Insurance in Medford and Loyal at 580-395-2447 or toll free at 1-800-346-4056 for a quote today.
Martin's Machine Shop, a family-owned business since 1974, serves Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. They offer full machine shop, welding, and metal working capabilities for repair and fabrication. Their fluid power division repairs hydraulic cylinders, pumps, motors, and valves, and includes a full inventory of 6,000 PSI hose and fittings. Give them a call at 580-227-2734 or connect through their website, www.martinsmachineshop.com, to see how they can assist you today.
Have you been thinking about shopping around for your insurance? Ewing Insurance offers home, auto, farm, commercial general liability, commercial property, commercial auto, workers' comp, life, and health insurance. We're an independent agent, so we have many carriers to choose from to get you the best rates. Ewing Insurance is located at 624 North Main Street in Fairview. Stop by or call us at 580-227-4333. Talk to Charla for commercial lines or Nancy for personal lines. Nick Ewing is a graduate of Fairview High School and a proud supporter of Fairview athletics. We wish the Yellow Jackets the best as they are gold ball chasing. Go Jackets!
When looking to purchase or market your livestock, choose the Fairview Livestock Commission Company. Family owned and operated, we're proud to be Northwest Oklahoma's first choice for your cattle marketing needs. Cattle sales are every Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Replacement cow sale this Tuesday, December 6th at 6 o'clock p.m. K.L. James, 580-227-3797. Go Yellow Jackets.
Farmers and Merchants National Bank is Fairview's hometown bank, serving you. Committed to providing the Fairview area with the latest in banking services and convenience. Farmers and Merchants is a locally owned and operated bank, eager to serve your personal and professional banking needs. With a pledge to exceed the expectations of their customers, the staff is confident in their ability to provide you with an exceptional banking experience. Farmers and Merchants National Bank in Fairview, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Pinnacle Ag Insurance is proud of all the student athletes participating in today's event and wants to wish all the seniors good luck in their next chapter of life. At Pinnacle Ag Insurance, they understand your needs because they're not just insurance agents, they're also farmers. So you know you're getting the most comprehensive coverage from people just like you. Pinnacle is proud to serve fellow farmers and wants to create a plan that best suits you, your family, and your budget. Insure locally. Call 580-412-2092. See the difference for yourself at Pinnacle Ag Insurance.
Jensen's of Fairview is celebrating 91 years. Currently, special pricing and financing available on select GMC units in stock. Hurry, as these units and offers won't last. Jensen's, the best prices in Northwest Oklahoma on your new and used vehicles. So come see why generations of customers have been choosing Jensen's to serve their automotive needs. Same family, same business, same location for 9 decades. Go Jackets! Kid Drug is second to none in Northwest Oklahoma. We are known for our beautiful home and holiday accessories, women's fashion, toys, candles, expansive kitchenware, and pampering bath and body lines. We offer lovely bridal and baby registries. Come experience our old-fashioned soda fountain treats, including the best malts and shakes you've ever tasted. Our pharmacy has been serving the Fairview and surrounding areas for more than 30 years. We accept most third-party insurance and have a complete line of over-the-counter medications, prescription drugs, and durable medical goods. So come see us at Kid Drug, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8:30 to 3 p.m. Saturdays.
For over a century, Sooner Plains Ag has been at the heart of our communities. Sooner Plains Ag is proud to support all area students and athletes from their hometowns and yours. Sooner Plains Ag is ready to service your grain, fertilizer, and farm supply needs. You can also fill up at one of their 2 convenience stores in Fairview and Mino. Sooner Plains Ag is honored to serve their member owners in their 4-county area for more than 100 years. Sooner Plains Ag, farmers helping farmers. It's that simple.
The High Plains Insurance Agency takes pride in keeping up with many changes in the crop insurance industry and keeping their insurers informed of these changes. The goal is to help each farmer customize their crop insurance to meet their needs. Thanks for your continued business, and remember, call Amy, Carissa, or Danny at High Plains Insurance in Medford and Loyal at 580-395-2447 or toll free at 1-800-346-4056 for a quote today.
Martin's Machine Shop, a family-owned business since 1974, serves Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. They offer full machine shop, welding, and metal working capabilities for repair and fabrication. Their fluid power division repairs hydraulic cylinders, pumps, motors, and valves, and includes a full inventory of 6,000 PSI hose and fittings. Give them a call at 580-227-2734 or connect through their website, www.martinsmachineshop.com, to see how they can assist you today.
Have you been thinking about shopping around for your insurance? Ewing Insurance offers home, auto, farm, commercial general liability, commercial property, commercial auto, workers' comp, life, and health insurance. We're an independent agent, so we have many carriers to choose from to get you the best rates. Ewing Insurance is located at 624 North Main Street in Fairview. Stop by or call us at 580-227-4333. Talk to Charla for commercial lines or Nancy for personal lines. Nick Ewing is a graduate of Fairview High School and a proud supporter of Fairview athletics. We wish the Yellow Jackets the best as they are gold ball chasing. Go Jackets! Have you been...
Okay, welcome fans live to the Squirtle Class A State Championship preview game. We're back again. We were here last year at Maples Nixon Dieselhorst to preview the Class A State Championship game between the Fairview Yellow Jackets and the Hooker Bulldogs, and I am honored to be joined by a group of gentlemen that are at the table with me that were very impactful in my life, and I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction, and we're going to talk about Jeremy Cleaver. I've got Jeremy Cleaver on this far end, Coach Cleaver. I've got Coach Wall here in the middle, and I've got Coach Van Meter, and I'm going to kick it to Jeremy and let Jeremy tell everybody out there where he is currently, his correlation to Fairview, and then I'm going to move on to Coach Wall and then Coach Van Meter, and then we're going to chat for a little bit about this game coming up and maybe talk a little bit about history.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'll go first. My name is Jeremy Cleaver, and proud 2000 graduate of Fairview High School. Had the opportunity to play for Coach Wall, Coach Van Meter, and play with Adam a long, long time ago. But honored to do that, and wouldn't be where I'm at today without these guys. I currently teach at Crossings Christian School. It's a couple miles from here in Oklahoma City. This is my 10th year. I coach football at the high school level for our team, and also baseball there at Crossings. So that's what I'm currently doing and loving every second of it.
I'm Mac Wall. I grew up in Fairview, graduated Fairview High School in 1972. We thought we had a great team. We were 8-2 and didn't even make the playoffs. Different playoff system, but have a lot of good memories in Fairview. Of course, I coached there for probably 28 years coaching. And I'm retired, and I'm still doing some farming and running cattle and chasing grandkids. My kids live a long ways away, so we spend a lot of time traveling, going back and forth. But really good memories there.
Well, I'm Coach Van Meter, Mark Van Meter from Fairview. I grew up there, and I've lived there most all my life. I coached there after I got out of college, and I'm actually working back there right now, doing a project for Joe D. Hall. I'm site superintendent for them and doing a project at the Chamberlain Middle School. It's been a lot of fun working with Brock Robson, the principal there, and Craig Church, superintendent, and really enjoying that right now. I've got 4 granddaughters that I chase around and have a lot of fun, and I'm just honored to be here with all these guys today. And it's a great day to be a Yellow Jacket and a bad day to be a Bulldog.
Amen.
Well, that segues us perfect into kind of our next conversation that we're going to have. Obviously, at 1 o'clock here this afternoon, we have the Fairview Yellow Jackets taking on the Hooker Bulldogs. District foes, very familiar with each other. Be an interesting matchup, of course. What I want to talk on is the big conversation about this game is playing a team twice in the same season. I want to give an example of what recently has occurred. Cushing and Wagner a couple years ago, in fact, last year, played each other in the regular season, and Cushing had their way with Wagner, and then in the state championship game, Wagner won that game. And so, kind of talking about what it takes to obviously play a team a second time. One thing I will give an example of, I know a lot about correlating your state championship team. That team early in the season was not the same team late in the season. And you guys as coaches and as players have seen that happen. And just talk about what are going to be kind of some of the key things for Fairview and as well as Hooker, but for this matchup. And Jeremy, I'll start with you and I'll walk down the aisle.
Well, first of all, it's very tough to play an opponent twice in 1 year. A lot of experience in doing that, and from both sides. I can think back to our team back in '99, and after that meeting with, it was early in the year. We got I guess we didn't play No Water twice, but I can just think that we were not the same team at the end than we were at the beginning, and there was a point in the season where, it was all what the coaches did, and there was adjustments made and attitudes changed, and thankfully to these two guys sitting next to me, along with Coach Welsh, and we got some momentum. We started playing really well, and we felt like we couldn't be beat. And I think if I'm Fairview today, that's going to be the difficult part for Fairview is the outcome of that first game, and then making sure that they're ready to play, and they will be. They'll be ready to play when it comes this afternoon. And from a scheme perspective, we moved people around on our team. There were several positional changes, and so that really helped us out. And so I haven't watched Hooker a whole lot, so I don't know. I've paid attention to Fairview and their season, but if I'm Hooker, they're riding momentum. I mean, they're on a run. They're hot. They're confident. And they're going to do what they've done to get to this point. So it's going to be Fairview's job to stop what they're doing now compared to what they were doing earlier. I would just treat it as a coach. I'd treat it as we haven't played them before.
Yeah.
From that standpoint.
Yeah. Coach Wall?
Yeah, I've talked to several people this week, and I said I think as a coach the biggest thing they faced this week was to get in those kids' heads and convince them that this was not going to be the same result necessarily easy that they had during the regular season, and that Hooker's going to be a different team. They're going to have to be ready to play. But just like Jeremy said, I've watched our kids all year, and they're so disciplined and they're smart, and the coaches do a great job, and I'm sure they'll have them ready to play. But I would expect a closer game. I may be wrong. Did Hooker not have its starting quarterback when we played him early?
I think if I remember right, the quarterback was banged up.
Okay.
And then I think what Jeremy mentioned, I think they have also moved some kids around to some different spots as well. So
well, and they're not playing on the 9th of December by being a poor team, so they're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, no doubt. Coach?
You said that about Cushing and Wagner. I don't know anything about Cushing and Wagner, and don't really know anything about Hooker. I know a lot about those guys who are going to be wearing black hats today. And I said this about them last year. They still haven't played their best game either, and I don't care. I've been hearing people all week saying how good Hooker is now and how much they've improved. Well, I promise you that team in the black helmets have improved every game, and I've watched them the last 2 or 3 weeks. And they are focused, and I guarantee you there's going to be another gold ball in the trophy case this week. I'm working up there every day, and I get to work up there at the middle school. I get there about a little before 7 every day, and at the same time I'm getting there, there's about 30 cars going out of the field house, out of the indoor, because they've been lifting weights from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock every morning. And I'm telling you, Hooker better pack a lunch.
Well, I put you at the end because I didn't expect any other kind of answer than that, Coach.
And don't get me wrong.
These kids are.
I truly believe Fairview's going to win, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was.
Sure, and I think that's fair to say. One more thing I wanted to kind of talk to while I have you guys here. I the importance of the community that Fairview has, the importance of the facilities, the support that Fairview has. Jeremy, you have some experience, obviously in coaching away from, your experience through high school. And talk a little bit about that and being a coach, how important that is, like that support you get from not only just like the students, the teachers, the parents, and the community. And there's not a place in the state that can equal what Fairview does as far as support goes. I'll talk.
Well, I could testify as a player that the coaches, those in the community, and their devotion to the program really motivates you and encourages you and builds excitement about the program, about something to be a part of. And I was thinking about that on the way over here, just being from Fairview and all of the great things I learned and experiences and opportunities provided to me through Fairview. And, I always thought back to Mr. Slater's excellence begins with me.
Yes.
And how that I think about that a lot. And that lesson that was taught to me, and it was from guys like Coach Wall and Coach Van Meter who, when he was just talking a second ago, I was thinking about that day in practice when you got on to me and lit a fire underneath me. I was sitting in the back. I was a safety, and I was taking it off. I was daydreaming, and Coach V had a great way of bringing me back in, and I still remember that. And it's just the investment of people like Coach Wall, Coach Van Meter, and Mr. Slater, and Coach Welsh, and Coach Coffey, Coach Fetke, and the list goes on and on and on. It's just that involvement, how much it mattered to them, and the sacrifice that they made to pour it into us, and then even others, in the roles that they have in the community like Fairview. And I'm thinking about just when I go back home to Fairview and see the commitment that they've made to the not just athletic, but it's everything.
Yep.
And that's the appreciation that I had about growing up in Fairview was it's excellence begins with me, and that's in every area, not only athletics, but academics and the arts and things like that. So it breeds excitement. I mean, you want to bring your best every day when you're in an environment like that.
Yeah.
And so it does wonders. And so as a coach now, try to breed that into our players, try to give back what these guys gave to us.
Yeah.
And it's such a great opportunity, and Fairview's still doing it.
Oh,
I mean, they've done it for years. I was thinking of even before I was at school at Fairview, and how that commitment and that excellence started a long time before I was even there.
Yeah, and you see it in the representation of the people that are here today for the alumni tailgate.
Right.
I mean, it means a lot to them to be from Fairview.
For sure, and I get comments all the time. I know I work here in Oklahoma City, but I see so many people from Fairview. I mean, I don't feel like I ever left.
Yeah.
I think this is Fairview South right here in Edmond. So I know we're proud of what this football team's accomplished, and are excited to see them play today.
Coach Wall?
Well, everything starts with the people in the community, the support that parents give the school system, and goes back to the board and everything about the school. And we've always had great administrators that always demanded excellence and always put a great deal of emphasis on providing good facilities. I mean, that's obvious now for sure. And it just goes back to a general attitude in the community of trying to do the best you can and provide for a great school system for the kids. And it was a great system to teach in. It was a great system to coach in. And, I go back to Coach Welsh. Coaching with him was a true joy.
No doubt about it.
What a great coach and a great mentor, and it was just a great experience.
Yeah. Coach V?
Well, I mean, there's not a better place to grow up and raise kids and like Coach Wall said, teach and coach and live. And there's no place better than Fairview, Oklahoma, and I'll go to bat for that anytime. And Jeremy, I remember that day, and Jeremy was our leader, and he wasn't the only one taking practice off that day. There were several others, but I knew if I got Jeremy's attention, we'd get everybody else's attention, and I got his attention, I think. But,
Still do.
He mentioned Jim Slater. Jim Slater,
Yeah.
I miss him every day, and he said, and I gotta correct you because his quality begins with me was his motto. And Jim Slater.
Do you think he'd be loving this?
Jim Slater would be right here with us today, and he'd be pumped more than anything. And like I said, these guys already commented on it, but these kids, we got 40 kids on our team, and every one of them are champions. Every one of them are winners. I know all of them. I've seen them grow up. They've been raised right. And they're representing Fairview so well, and I'm very, very proud of them, and I'm going to be even more proud of them at about 4 o'clock today.
Well, I'll add something kind of to that. Great answers from you guys. I would speak this literally what Jeremy said. I would say the same. You know, my biggest mentors and biggest influences in my life came from Fairview, and any opportunity I ever can to give back, I want to do that because it's the roots of what created me. And I just want to thank the current coaching staff, the current administration, and the current fan base because they've carried that legacy on. You know, uniquely for me, Robert was a good friend of mine previous to him being a coach at Fairview, and I think he has done a fabulous job of, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily revitalizing, but continuing on the tradition of Fairview football and really getting it to a place where, I mean, it's one of the best programs in the state, regardless of class. You know, when they've won 41 of the last 42 games, I believe is the stat.
Impressive.
It's really impressive,
Yep,
and he is when he got that job, you know, the first time I got to talk to him, I was like, you are a perfect fit for that job. You have the perfect mentality, great family. And so lastly, I just want to get you guys' pick on the game, and then we're going to move on because we've got some players we want to interview. We have some current students in the high school that we're going to bring on to as well. And then we're going to also do a pregame show with Tom Nelson, who's one of the voices of Squirtle, and then also Mark Rogers from the Sports Animal, and also one of the voices of Squirtle is going to come on a little bit later on. So, Jeremy, give me a breakdown and your thoughts on the game.
All right, I spent a little bit of time, of course, this last week looking at both teams. Of course, I followed Fairview and Fairview grad, and I'm also a defensive guy, and I've really, you know, I think Fairview's offense gets a lot, but, man, how opportunistic has the Fairview defense been in this playoff run? I think they've been tough in the red zone. They forced turnovers, and I think that's going to continue. I actually think the offense is going to keep rolling. I think I'm going to say 36-7 because they're going to get a touchdown probably in the last 5 minutes of the game. And as a defensive guy, I know that shutouts are difficult, but always aiming for them. But sometimes things like that happen, and I'm going to say 30-something to 7, 36-7.
Yeah.
Coach Wall?
I picked Fairview, obviously, and I think probably by at least 2 touchdowns. I don't know, you know, depending on the weather, what it's going to do to us, but I think they're going to come out and they're going to play great. And, you know, I want to add one thing. Last year when we won it, I talked to several people after the season, and they said, well, I don't know about next year. I don't think the offensive line is going to be that good. And I was saying it last year already. I think their offensive line is going to be fine, and they've played really well. And it takes every phase of the game to be playing today. So I'm proud of them. And Mr. Van Meter and I obviously played in Fairview, and we never dreamed Fairview'd have 2 back-to-back state championships if they get this done today, and I think they will.
Well, I think you know who I got my money on.
Hooker?
Yeah, no.
You're wearing blue.
Not
you got
hardly.
blue
No,
on.
right here. I got my money on the jackets. I got my money on the guys wearing the black helmets today. And I'm not going to predict a score, but I'm going to predict that the Yellow Jackets bring it for 4 quarters. And like I said earlier, Hooker might have been improved, but so are our guys. And let's go. I'm ready.
Well, thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate you guys showing up. Anytime I ever ask for any kind of favors from anybody from Fairview, they're always welcome to join and help out with anything that we're trying to do to get exposure for Fairview as a community, also the kids and students. And so I'm not going to pick the game. I'm not supposed to do that because I'm a media guy, but you guys obviously know what I think about what's going to happen. I think Kid Drug will be getting me another shirt this year that has a gold ball on it. So we're going to be done. We're going to go to commercial real quick.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet. And we're going to go to commercial real quick, and then we're going to have some more people on, so make sure you stay tuned.
When looking to purchase or market your livestock, choose the Fairview Livestock Commission Company. Family owned and operated, we're proud to be Northwest Oklahoma's first choice for your cattle marketing needs. Cattle sales are every Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Replacement cow sale this Tuesday, December 6th at 6 o'clock p.m. K.L. James, 580-227-3797. Go Yellow Jackets.
Farmers and Merchants National Bank is Fairview's hometown bank, serving you, committed to providing the Fairview area with the latest in banking services and convenience. Farmers and Merchants is a locally owned and operated bank, eager to serve your personal and professional banking needs. With a pledge to exceed the expectations of their customers, the staff is confident in their ability to provide you with an exceptional banking experience. Farmers and Merchants National Bank in Fairview, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Pinnacle Ag Insurance is proud of all the student athletes participating in today's event and wants to wish all the seniors good luck in their next chapter of life. At Pinnacle Ag Insurance, they understand your needs because they're not just insurance agents, they're also farmers. So you know you're getting the most comprehensive coverage from people just like you. Pinnacle is proud to serve fellow farmers and wants to create a plan that best suits you, your family, and your budget. Insure locally. Call 580-412-2092. See the difference for yourself at Pinnacle Ag Insurance.
Jensen's of Fairview is celebrating 91 years. Currently, special pricing and financing available on select GMC units in stock. Hurry, as these units and offers won't last. Jensen's, the best prices in Northwest Oklahoma on your new and used vehicles. So come see why generations of customers have been choosing Jensen's to serve their automotive needs. Same family, same business, same location for 9 decades. Go Jackets! Jensen's of
Okay, welcome back to the Squirtle Class A State Championship preview game, and it's almost like deja vu for some of these guys that are sitting next to me. I have the luxury and am blessed to have Caden Pettis, state champion last year for the Fairview Yellow Jackets. I have Austin Hauk here sitting next to me, state champion last year for the Fairview Yellow Jackets. And I went ahead and kept Coach V on here because I'm sure he's got some questions or some things he wants to add to whatever you guys have to say. Kate, I'm going to start with you. If you guys don't mind letting everybody know where you are right now, and then also let everybody know that may not know who you were last year, where you played, and on the team, and so on and so forth. And Austin, same thing to you.
So I'm Caden Pettis. I go to college at Southwestern in Weatherford, and I'm trying to get my degree in biomedical sciences. But last year I played on the D-line and O-line, and yeah.
Awesome.
I'm Austin Hauk. I'm at Southwestern now. I'm playing football there. Last year I was number 12. I was tight end and outside linebacker.
So, first question. Tell us just a little bit what it felt like last year when that last buzzer sounded. What was that? What was the emotion like, and how could you explain it maybe in a handful of words or a short paragraph?
Very, very fulfilling because, we went through that very, very long and hard summer, and 15 games is a long season. So that was very, very fulfilling.
Probably the word I have is surreal because it just felt like a final statement because not many people know our freshman and sophomore year we went 5-16. And then we ended up going 29-1 the last 2 years. So it just felt way more fulfilling knowing that we finally finished it.
Yeah. Talk to me and tell the people that are out there what you guys feel like is the most impactful thing currently in Fairview's program and the reason behind the success that Fairview is having right now. Outside of obviously having excellent, talented players, you guys know a lot of teams you play have great players, right? And that does help, right? As a buddy of mine who's a coach, he says you got to have freaks to win state championships. You two were freaks last year, right? But it also takes a lot of other guys to make that thing happen, right? It takes people that don't get a lot of the recognition, the guys that are playing in the trenches. It takes the practice kids, right? And so maybe talk a little bit about what you guys think outside of just the raw talent that you had, some of the things that you think makes Fairview's program so good right now.
So number one thing I'm going to say is community support. That was our biggest deal. We had more people at our away games than the home team had, and it was just insane. And then the next thing I'm going to say is scout team. Our scout team mimicked the other teams so well, and so that gave us a great look for the hard teams we had to play.
Great answer. Awesome.
I'm going to second that. I mean, community was just overwhelming. I mean, we went out to eat, me and all my buddies, like, all through playoffs, but, like, I don't ever remember paying for a single meal. Like, it was always paid for by the time I went to go get a check, and it was just so surreal. The second thing is our coaches are just such great leaders of men, and they just expect so much from us, and it makes us rise to the occasion, and they expect us just to be men of integrity. And that's a big deal as well. That helps us just whenever games get tough to push through.
Sure. My next question would be, tell the people out there maybe, and not like a locker room story, but maybe like a story from your career at Fairview that is something that kind of stands out to you. Maybe it was something fun. Maybe it was a moment in a game or something. If you don't have one of those, let me know. Or maybe it was like the biggest moment of a game in your career that you could mention.
Me and Austin have been friends since he came here. And so when we were playing versus Gore, and we both got a sack, and we both just like got up, and we just bro hugged each other, and that was probably one of my favorite memories of all time.
Awesome.
There's like so many.
Yeah, you can tell a couple, but
really, I think one of like a memory that I'll remember that I think is part of the biggest reason we won. So we lose to Tonkawa, lose to them by I think it was like really close, like 18-16, something ridiculous. And it was after that game, like there's a group of us, like Caden, me, and Ethan Wallace were talking, and we said we're never going to feel this pain again. And we knew it was going to be tough, but like it's that conversation that I'll remember because that really changed everything, our outlook on how we compete and how we look at things. There's that one I think is the biggest memory that I'll have for why we were so successful. It's because we made that promise to each other that we wouldn't let each other miss a single rep or do anything. And then really winning the state championship. And then at the end of it, I just remember just like falling down, just like overwhelmed with emotion. And then Caden was right there with me the whole time. And then Coach Nelson just rips me off the ground. It was the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll do two more questions. The next question is gonna have to do with this guy right here sitting next to me. So, obviously, Coach V was my coach. He's one of the biggest mentors in my life. I know that you guys didn't technically really get to be coached by him, but I know he's probably an impactful guy in you guys' life at some standpoint just because he's so involved in the community and such a Yellow Jacket. Maybe tell me a story. You don't have to tell me a story if you don't want to, or maybe just tell me what this guy means to you, or maybe something, what he's meant to you along the way.
So he was my principal all throughout elementary, and I remember, so one of my favorite memories is when he just came and grabbed me from class one time, and we went up on the roof to get all the balls that were kicked up there. And then we went down there, and he always used to have this big old bucket of candy sitting there. And he goes, just pick what you want. Just pick what you want. Dude, my eyes lit up as a little kid.
Yeah. Boston?
I would add it. So as soon as we got here and Coach V pulled up, we're sitting here talking, and Cade's like, yeah, that guy's spanked my butt before. I just laughed so hard.
Did you have it coming?
I mean, well, it was going to be you or my dad. So.
Well, Coach, I know you've been around Fairview a long time. You've been around a lot of really good athletes. This Fairview team right now has a lot of great athletes, good kids. Tell the people out there a little bit what these two guys mean to you.
Oh, they're perfect examples of all the kids that have ever come through Fairview, and these are at the top of the list, of course. But all you guys all the way through, there's a lot of similarities in the kids I coached at Fairview, and I was fortunate enough to coach a lot on a state championship football team, but also I was on some really, really good state basketball teams and girls basketball too. Lucky enough to be a part of a state runner-up on a girls team with Coach Glover and Kayleen Wickard, Nicole Hasty, and now their kids are all coming through here. And I was even a student teacher when Austin's mom and dad were playing at Fairview and coached by, Mr. Beck and Coach York. But these guys are just great kids. So are the kids that are still there now, the freshmen all the way through seniors. They work hard. I mean, they work so hard. And these guys did too, and you can see how much, they're specimens. They lift weights all the time and we're dedicated to the game, and these kids this year are too. Like I said, they're up there every morning at 6 o'clock, lift till 7 o'clock, go home and get ready for school, and out there at practice that day, and their coaches instill that in them. But I can't say enough about how proud I am of these guys and the guys that are out there today with those black hats on. They're going to put on a show for us and bring another gold ball back. It's a great day to be a Yellow Jacket.
Awesome. Okay, last thing. If you guys had an opportunity to say something to the team, and maybe you already have because you guys obviously have friends that are on this team, what would it be? And then also a prediction for the game.
So I would say, we've been here before. You know what to do, and you're going to face adversity. It's going to happen. It happens in these big games, but, the good teams overcome it, and, hopefully you can get one more of these.
Heck yeah.
And my prediction is Fairview's taking the dub.
All right.
So.
Great answer.
Austin?
My biggest thing, I tell them, I just said, be you. You don't have to try to be anybody else. And at the end of the day, make sure you just give the glory to God for whatever the outcome is. And prediction, pretty easy. Fairview's going to take the win, and it's going to I don't think it's going to be close. Because I just know this week there's been some chatter all going around all over social media just for stuff, so I don't think it's going to be close.
Great answers, guys. Great answers.
Okay, well, thank you guys for coming on. We're going to go to another quick commercial break, and we'll be back here shortly.
Kid Drug is second to none in Northwest Oklahoma. We are known for our beautiful home and holiday accessories, women's fashion, toys, candles, expansive kitchenware, and pampering bath and body lines. We offer lovely bridal and baby registries. Come experience our old-fashioned soda fountain treats, including the best malts and shakes you've ever tasted. Our pharmacy has been serving the Fairview and surrounding areas for more than 30 years. We accept most third-party insurance and have a complete line of over-the-counter medications, prescription drugs, and durable medical goods. So come see us at Kid Drug, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8:30 to 3 p.m. Saturdays.
For over a century, Sooner Plains Ag has been at the heart of our communities. Sooner Plains Ag is proud to support all area students and athletes from their hometowns and yours. Sooner Plains Ag is ready to service your grain, fertilizer, and farm supply needs. You can also fill up at one of their 2 convenience stores in Fairview and Mino. Sooner Plains Ag is honored to serve their member owners in their 4-county area for more than 100 years. Sooner Plains Ag, farmers helping farmers. It's that simple.
The High Plains Insurance Agency takes pride in keeping up with many changes in the crop insurance industry and keeping their insurers informed of these changes. The goal is to help each farmer customize their crop insurance to meet their needs. Thanks for your continued business, and remember, call Amy, Carissa, or Danny at High Plains Insurance in Medford and Loyal at 580-395-2447 or toll free at 1-800-346-4056 for a quote today.
Martin's Machine Shop, a family-owned business since 1974, serves Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. They offer full machine shop, welding, and metal working capabilities for repair and fabrication. Their fluid power division repairs hydraulic cylinders, pumps, motors, and valves, and includes a full inventory of 6,000 PSI hose and fittings. Give them a call at 580-227-2734 or connect through their website, www.martinsmachineshop.com, to see how they can assist you today. Martin's Machine.
Okay, so welcome back to the Squirtle Class A State Championship preview pregame show, and we're doing something a little bit different that we don't normally do. One of the things that I always say about Fairview, and one of the things that I always hear, even being a Fairview grad from other communities, is the support that everybody gives to everybody throughout, whether it's a girls program, a boys program, whether it's band. We were really good at band when I was in high school, by the way. Any other type of thing, whether it's academics. I know you guys have an incredible Stuco program there too as well. Alyssa was supposed to join us and she bailed out on us. So, but I wanted to do a session. I'm going to call it the ladies session. Okay, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to start at the very end, and I'm going to allow each of these ladies to introduce themselves. They're just going to let you know who they are. A lot of people that are out there probably watching do know who they are, but we're going to do that, and then maybe talk about just a few things that you're involved in, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. So we'll start at the end, and we'll work this way, okay?
I'm Mallory Reams. I'm a senior. I play softball, basketball, and I run track, and I'm also involved in Stuco.
Awesome.
I'm Bryn Grove, and I'm a junior at Fairview right now, and I'm involved in track and then student council.
Now, aren't you like the student state, like president of the world or something?
Back in November,
okay.
We went to state convention, and we competed for the state office, and there was a runoff between us and Bixby, and we won, so I'll represent us this year.
Awesome. I don't know why there needed to be a runoff. Your speech was really good.
Thank you.
I watched it. It was good.
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
Okay, now Chelsea's going to introduce it. I know Chelsea. So Chelsea was in school when I was at school at Fairview, so she's going to introduce herself and let everybody know what she's doing.
Chelsea
Hope I didn't
Robbins.
age you, by the way, by saying that.
I know. Now you make me look old. Chelsea Robinson. I am the Booster Club president and then also the athletic director assistant.
Okay, so my first question is going to be, I know you guys lead the student section at Fairview. We even have some other student section members back here. Everybody wave at the camera. Okay, who comes up with the themes for the games? And I'm going to let each of you kind of talk about it. Okay, don't you have themes for every game?
Yes.
Okay.
So our student council class, we all talk about it and then vote on what we want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so last year we had them for both games, but now we just do them at home games, and it's pretty awesome just seeing all the kids be creative with how they take the themes, and it's pretty fun.
Okay, so far this year, what has been your favorite theme in a game so far?
Oh.
I was at the last game. I liked the kind of the holiday Grinch kind of.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
that one's
okay.
always a big
Christmas,
hit.
that makes sense. Okay.
Gosh, my favorite one.
I would probably say Galaxy. I think that one was pretty fun.
That Galaxy was pretty fun. Christmas is always fun. So yeah.
Chelsea, do you have a favorite?
Christmas. The Grinch was hilarious.
Okay. Next question would be, so what is the community of Fairview? What is your favorite part about growing up in Fairview and being able to wear that leather jacket and represent Fairview?
Probably our support system. Everyone in the community supports us very well.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just say everyone's invested in you, and no matter what you're in, they're going to be behind you every step of the way, and they just treat you like your own kid, honestly, and they pour into you, the faculty, the teachers, the coaches, everybody, and I will eternally be blessed for where I got to grow up.
Awesome. Chelsea?
Being an alumni, being able to bring my kids back and raise them there, and just the sense that they are loved by everyone and supported by everyone, and everyone shows up. It doesn't matter how far we have to travel, the weather conditions, everyone shows up and supports the kids, and it's truly amazing.
Yep. So I'm going to ask Chelsea just a question real quick. So Chelsea mentioned she's an alumni. Chelsea was a great athlete at Fairview. She was a really good high jumper. I didn't do track, so I never really got to watch her do that, but good basketball player. So talk about, like, the alumni support in general, and talk about your role now being the Booster Club president, and just kind of what you saw past Booster Club presidents when you were a student, and like maybe just talk about like how important that is, or how important you feel that role is at Fairview.
To be honest, whenever I was a student, I didn't ever really realize how much goes into it. And then now doing it, just looking back at all the years, what they supplied the student athletes, the support just at any sporting event. I mean, even academically, I mean, people show up and just support the kids, and it's honestly amazing. And it's like set the bar really high for me, to where I just try to come up with new things and fundraise. And I have a great group of ladies around me, my board, that just are always up for anything to fundraise and support the kids.
Okay. Great answer, by the way. That was really good. Did you have I didn't even ask you these questions ahead of time.
I know.
It's impressive. Okay, so last question, since we are here for a football game, right? If you guys had one thing that you could say to the players, right, or the coaches, what would it be? Okay, and then I also want to know what your prediction for the game is. Okay, so we'll start on the end, and either one of you can go first.
You want me to go first?
You don't know?
To them, I would just say that they are so impressive, and just the team atmosphere. They're a great group of guys, and I'm so proud of them, and I am so happy to cheer them on at every game, and they deserve a state championship, and they deserve to be able to take home that gold ball. So just play to their best ability, and I think they're going to win. In the prediction, are you thinking like score prediction?
Yeah, why not? Be fun.
I'm thinking if we play our best and defense comes out to play, we're up by 3 touchdowns by the end.
Gotcha. You can at least predict the score, right?
I would say probably 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Okay. Chelsea, what would you say?
What I would say is that it's an honor to watch these boys grow as athletes. I am very proud of the coaching staff. It's a privilege to call them my friends. And I just am just like overwhelmed with emotions. I didn't sleep last night. I want these boys to win. They deserve it. And my prediction would be Fairview is going to win by 3 to 5 touchdowns because we're going to go out and show them how good we are.
That's awesome. So what a lot of people out here watching don't know is this is a unique scenario because we have 4 people sitting at a table from Fairview that all went to school at OU or are going to OU. And you don't see that very often. So I'm going to have to throw that out there because I'm the one guy that's always like, you can be a graduate of Fairview and go to the University of Oklahoma. So I just want to give you guys a thumbs up for making that decision. I know that has nothing to do with this game, but I think it's awesome. And I know Chelsea went to school there too as well, so congratulations to you guys. That's a big deal. I know you guys have a bright future in front of you, and thanks for joining me. And Chelsea, thanks for joining me. And,
of course.
I know you guys will cheer loud, so
yes.
Thanks for coming on. All right, we're going to go to another commercial, and we'll be back on. I think we're going to have a couple more guests, and then I think Mark and Tom are going to break down the game.
Have you been thinking about shopping around for your insurance? Ewing Insurance offers home, auto, farm, commercial general liability, commercial property, commercial auto, workers' comp, life, and health insurance. We're an independent agent, so we have many carriers to choose from to get you the best rates. Ewing Insurance is located at 624 North Main Street in Fairview. Stop by or call us at 580-227-4333. Talk to Charla for commercial lines or Nancy for personal lines. Nick Ewing is a graduate of Fairview High School and a proud supporter of Fairview athletics. We wish the Yellow Jackets the best as they are gold ball chasing. Go Jackets!
When looking to purchase or market your livestock, choose the Fairview Livestock Commission Company. Family owned and operated, we're proud to be Northwest Oklahoma's first choice for your cattle marketing needs. Cattle sales are every Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Replacement cow sale this Tuesday, December 6th at 6 o'clock p.m. K.L. James, 580-227-3797. Go Yellow Jackets.
Farmers and Merchants National Bank is Fairview's hometown bank, serving you. Committed to providing the Fairview area with the latest in banking services and convenience. Farmers and Merchants is a locally owned and operated bank, eager to serve your personal and professional banking needs. With a pledge to exceed the expectations of their customers, the staff is confident in their ability to provide you with an exceptional banking experience. Farmers and Merchants National Bank in Fairview, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Pinnacle Ag Insurance is proud of all the student athletes participating in today's event and wants to wish all the seniors good luck in their next chapter of life. At Pinnacle Ag Insurance, they understand your needs because they're not just insurance agents, they're also farmers. So you know you're getting the most comprehensive coverage from people just like you. Pinnacle is proud to serve fellow farmers and wants to create a plan that best suits you, your family, and your budget. Insure locally. Call 580-412-2092. See the difference for yourself at Pinnacle Ag Insurance.
Jensen's of Fairview is celebrating 91 years. Currently, special pricing and financing available on select GMC units in stock. Hurry, as these units and offers won't last. Jensen's, the best prices in Northwest Oklahoma on your new and used vehicles. So come see why generations of customers have been choosing Jensen's to serve their automotive needs. Same family, same business, same location for 9 decades. Go Jackets! Kid Drug is second to none in Northwest Oklahoma. We are known for our beautiful home and holiday accessories, women's fashion, toys, candles, expansive kitchenware, and pampering bath and body lines. We offer lovely bridal and baby registries. Come experience our old-fashioned soda fountain treats, including the best malts and shakes you've ever tasted. Our pharmacy has been serving the Fairview and surrounding areas for more than 30 years. We accept most third-party insurance and have a complete line of over-the-counter medications, prescription drugs, and durable medical goods. So come see us at Kid Drug, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8:30 to 3 p.m. Saturdays.
Okay, welcome back to the Class A State Championship pregame show. We've got our session where we're bringing some Fairview alumni onto. I mean, we can't have an alumni tailgate without bringing on Fairview alumni, right? I mean, that's kind of part of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the very end with Austin, and all these guys are going to do is some of these guys may be more familiar faces than others, but I want to start with Austin. Austin's going to tell you when he graduated from Fairview. He's the voice of Fairview, by the way, too, so I just spoiled that for him. But let him know what you currently do now, and then we'll move on to Cody, we'll move on to Jake, we'll come back to me, and then we're gonna talk about this game and talk about some other things about Fairview. So, Austin, go ahead.
Okay, Austin Hurst, still live in Fairview, graduated in 01. Married, have 2 kids in high school there. Well, have one in high school, one's in college now. Work in the oil field, and that's about it right now.
Cody?
Class of 1998. I'm a physical therapist in Mustang, live in Yukon. I've got a little boy.
Jacob?
I'm Jake Dieselhorst. I'm one of the partners here at M&D, where we're hanging out today for the Squirtle DSO M&D Fairview State Championship pregame tailgate.
When did you graduate?
Graduated in 1994, and
did they have horse-drawn carriages back then?
Yeah, it was before cell phones and YouTube and running water.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a couple questions. I know the last thing we're going to do is Jake has some stats and some information. Obviously, Jake is a common guest on a lot of our Squirtle shows, so he plays the role of lines and statistics. So I'm going to let him spend some time doing that. But I want to start with Austin down on the end and just talk about maybe some memories of playing sports in Fairview, or maybe some current memories for you with some of the teams right now, or maybe to you, what is the biggest thing that stands out about the success that Fairview's having right now?
You're asking the wrong guy about sports when I was in high school. I was on the bench. But these last 2 years, I mean, that's something special that doesn't come around very often.
Yep.
Both when you got a good quarterback like Jax, I mean,
yep,
you can do a lot of stuff. And
yep,
he's got so many weapons that you got somebody that can beat everybody deep, and you got somebody that if you need a first down, Reed Martin's, 5-10 yards and out, and you got a first down, and his yards after catch are crazy. But they're just a complete team. Their defense this year, too, has been stifling. I think their starting defense, maybe the most they've given up is 14 points this year, and everything else is you got guys coming in, freshmen, sophomores that are coming in, and that's where some of that other stuff's come from. But they're just a complete team. It's crazy.
That's a great breakdown. So, Cody, you may not have a current great breakdown of the team that's currently going on right now, just because obviously you've graduated, been distanced pretty well from the community. But maybe talk a little bit about some of these guys that are here and some of the teams you had at Fairview. And there's going to be a lot of similarities, I'm guessing, to what you experienced while you were playing at Fairview and what kids are experiencing now.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think that whenever we were in school that we were kind of the building blocks of this. That may or may not be true, but I remember those times and how special they were to us. And one thing I did think about this week is the community of Fairview. Whether it's up, obviously these are good times, but bad times come around too, and everybody comes together for those as well. I think that's what makes Fairview special.
Great answer. Jake?
Yeah. Well, I can't talk much about football because I played basketball player, but I do know that this football team, what they've done the last 2 seasons. I mean, this 20-odd game winning streak, playing today for back-to-back undefeated state championships. It starts with great coaching. It starts with hard work year-round. And Fairview's been improving their facilities. I know that's helped a lot. We got the turf field this year, built the training center I think a couple years before, what was it, 2018 when the when they built the training center, and I think that's where it starts. I actually went by the training center one day, like when it was in action, and got to see the weight room being used by like the 8th grade boys, the turf being used by the 8th grade girls working out. The softball girls were in the cages hitting, and then you walk right out the door, and there's the football team practicing. So it's it's just Fairview's like a athletic powerhouse now. It's awesome.
Awesome. So, Austin, maybe give one of your best memories as a student or as an athlete or even just as a community member of Fairview, from Fairview, if you don't mind.
Well, I was on the '99 state championship team, so that was one of the coolest things ever, getting to play at Lewis Field there in Stillwater and seeing the town all come behind you like they have. And like these guys said, the community's been crazy. Like, you show up to these games and you look at our stands and it's packed. And then like last week against Woodland, you look over there and it was kind of sparse, it looked like to me. But it's awesome, the support that we have, but yeah, no, that state championship game back in '99, that was probably the highlight for me back then. So
great answer, Cody.
Best memory.
Best memory. One of the best memories. Yeah.
Beating Watonga.
Yes. Yeah, and that was a big deal because a lot of people that are out there don't know Watonga did not lose back then.
And they also spray painted our media booth the night before.
They stole. They tried to steal the bell too.
Yeah, and then they forgot we brought Rusty with us.
They got a heavy
31-7 later. They remembered.
Yeah, we brought a heavy dose of Rusty Harmon.
Yeah.
I bet you they had a headache after that game.
Right.
I had a headache just watching him run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking around here and seeing some of the people here. I mean, I see like Wade Weinstrow, a Fairview legend in basketball, Devin Nightingale. I see Josh Dieslers over there. I think we could throw a 5-man team together right now and probably compete in the, NCAA. We'd probably beat OSU right now in basketball, actually. But we haven't talked about is Hooker.
Yep.
This is Fairview obviously, and Fairview and Hooker played September 22nd. Fairview won 56-22, dominated the game on the road at Hooker. And so you'd think coming into this game that makes Fairview a really heavy favorite, but then you look at what Hooker has done since that game. They've reeled off 10 straight wins. Only lost one game in district play, that first game to Fairview. And in the playoffs, what they've done is just remarkable. They've knocked off, in their last 3 games, 3 undefeated teams that they were underdogs against. They beat Minko, who was undefeated. They beat Central, Salisaw, who was undefeated at the time, to advance to the semifinals. And then last week played Hominy, who was, I think, everybody had pegged to be the team that was going to be in this game against Fairview, and pulled off the upset against Hominy. And so they're giant killers right now, and they're playing with that mentality. And that's what it's going to take today, I think, for Hooker to hang in this game. Since they conceded those 56 points to Fairview back in September, they have not given up more than 24 points in a game, and that was to Hominy last week. And like I said, that's what it's going to take for Hooker to stay in this game. As you know, I like to set lines on the games. I've got Fairview 11.5-point favorite.
Okay, hold that right there because we're going to do predictions here in a second,
okay?
And I'm going to start with Is that okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so that's going to be my last question. I'll start with Austin down from the very end. I want to know what Austin's prediction is and maybe just kind of a minor, thought about the game. And then we'll take it to Cody, and then we'll let Jake finish the rest of his other side of his sheet.
Okay. Talking about Hominy, that's kind of who I was wanting to play. I really didn't want to see Hooker again playing a team for a second time. That gets a little dicey. But I was at that Hooker game, and it's a long way out there, but it was a good game. Today, the way we played against Crescent kind of scared me a little bit. That's the worst game we played in the last 2 years probably. Turning the ball over in penalties, that's the one thing we can't do today.
In the red zone, we turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Going into the end zone. Going into the end zone on the 1 yard line.
Points,
So that's probably the main thing. Just keep a level head. But as far as the game goes, Well, I felt a lot better last night, and then Todd McHugh called me and told me he was so nervous. And so then I woke up at 4:30 this morning. I'm like, well, maybe I'm overconfident. So, but I think I like Fairview by at least 2 touchdowns today, I think. So that's my pick.
Awesome. Cody, what is your pick?
I'd say we've all been to the Panhandle of Oklahoma. There's nothing going on out there. So we're close, but we're not out there yet. If you think they're not doing this too, you're stupid. So they're rallying around today.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to bring everything they got.
Yep.
But I think Fairview wins by a touchdown.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that, the fact that Fairview's been in this game before, last year, the fact that Fairview has knocked off the top teams in Class A, for the past 2 seasons, and the fact Hooker is a young team. Hooker's got a lot of young players. Fairview does too, but I just think the experience of Fairview, and then Fairview has so many weapons. I mean, just all over the field. And obviously they're going to have the best player on the field with the quarterback. Like I said, I've got Fairview an 11.5-point favorite, and I see Fairview winning it like 41-28, something along the lines of that. I think Hooker's going to put some points on the board. But like you said, turnovers, not getting points when you get in the red zone, giving up big plays, penalties. Those are the things that you can't predict in a football game, and that's the thing that Coach has done such a good job with this bunch for the last 3 or 4 years is they're not a heavily penalized team. They don't make those kind of dumb mistakes. They don't turn the ball over that much. And so I think as long as Fairview, plays how they've been playing, they should win this game and be the defending state champions, when that game ends today.
Well, I'm calling the game, so I'm not going to predict it because I'm not supposed to do that from a media standpoint. I've already mentioned that a couple times. Obviously, you know where my allegiance lies and what I think is probably going to happen. I will say I think the biggest factor in this game is going to be, and Austin mentioned this too, is defense wins championships. We see that across the board, even in a space in a world where spread offenses score a lot of points. Ultimately, the most physical team and the team that tackles the best and the team that can play defense and get a stop is typically who wins. And I think Fairview's defense is very underrated. I've said that all year. Every time I call a game, obviously Bernard and Burris and Martins and Strader, the line, everything, it can really go. But, man, they've got some studs. The Gilchrist kid is an absolute stud on defense. He's tiny, but he is a machine.
Yeah, watch him and Micah Wheeler. That kid, he'll lay the wood.
Yep. So I think that's going to be the difference in the game. And so thank you guys, obviously, for coming on.
I see Mark Rogers is here now. So we've got, the Squirtle celebrities in the house. So let's get let's let the pros take over.
Well, we even have a cop here, Brandon Benson, a former alumni.
Brandon was here. I know. Yeah. I thought that I was in trouble, but then I remember there wasn't YouTube back when I went to school. So there's no proof of anything. But it's cool that we've done this 2 years in a row now. We're all honored to host this here at MND and here on the premises, and we sure miss Andy not being here, but he's at Disney World.
Yep.
I sure hope he got fast passes, because if he didn't,
he did.
It's just going to be okay.
He got fast passes and COVID,
good.
So that wasn't a good part of it.
Well,
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming on. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come and conclude our show with Mark Rogers and Tom Nelson, who will both be calling this game. Tom will be calling it for our network on Squirtle and FairviewYellowJackets.tv, and Mark Rogers will be actually covering the game for the NFHS network.
For over a century, Sooner Plains Ag has been at the heart of our communities. Sooner Plains Ag is proud to support all area students and athletes from their hometowns and yours. Sooner Plains Ag is ready to service your grain, fertilizer, and farm supply needs. You can also fill up at one of their 2 convenience stores in Fairview and Mino. Sooner Plains Ag is honored to serve their member owners in their 4-county area for more than 100 years. Sooner Plains Ag, farmers helping farmers. It's that simple.
The High Plains Insurance Agency takes pride in keeping up with many changes in the crop insurance industry and keeping their insurers informed of these changes. The goal is to help each farmer customize their crop insurance to meet their needs. Thanks for your continued business. And remember, call Amy, Carissa, or Danny at High Plains Insurance in Medford and Loyal at 580-395-2447 or toll free at 1-800-346-4056 for a quote today.
Martin's Machine Shop, a family-owned business since 1974, serves Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. They offer full machine shop, welding, and metal working capabilities for repair and fabrication. Their fluid power division repairs hydraulic cylinders, pumps, motors, and valves, and includes a full inventory of 6,000 PSI hose and fittings. Give them a call at 580-227-2734 or connect through their website, www.martinsmachineshop.com, to see how they can assist you today.
Have you been thinking about shopping around for your insurance? Ewing Insurance offers home, auto, farm, commercial general liability, commercial property, commercial auto, workers' comp, life, and health insurance. We're an independent agent, so we have many carriers to choose from to get you the best rates. Ewing Insurance is located at 624 North Main Street in Fairview. Stop by or call us at 580-227-4333. Talk to Charla for commercial lines or Nancy for personal lines. Nick Ewing is a graduate of Fairview High School and a proud supporter of Fairview athletics. We wish the Yellow Jackets the best as they are gold ball chasing. Go Jackets!
When looking to purchase or market your livestock, choose the Fairview Livestock Commission Company. Family owned and operated, we're proud to be Northwest Oklahoma's first choice for your cattle marketing needs. Cattle sales are every Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Replacement cow sale this Tuesday, December 6th at 6 o'clock p.m. K.L. James, 580-227-3797. Go Yellow Jackets.
Farmers and Merchants National Bank is Fairview's hometown bank, serving you. Committed to providing the Fairview area with the latest in banking services and convenience. Farmers and Merchants is a locally owned and operated bank, eager to serve your personal and professional banking needs. With a pledge to exceed the expectations of their customers, the staff is confident in their ability to provide you with an exceptional banking experience. Farmers and Merchants National Bank in Fairview, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Pinnacle Ag Insurance is proud of all the student athletes participating in today's event and wants to wish all the seniors good luck in their next chapter of life. At Pinnacle Ag Insurance, they understand your needs because they're not just insurance agents, they're also farmers. So you know you're getting the most comprehensive coverage from people just like you. Pinnacle is proud to serve fellow farmers and wants to create a plan that best suits you, your family, and your budget. Insure locally. Call 580-412-2092. See the difference for yourself at Pinnacle Ag Insurance. Pinnacle.
Okay, welcome back to the Squirtle Class A State Championship preview game. We are now joined by we're doing the media version of this show that we've had so far. So thank you guys for coming out and bearing the weather. It's gotten a lot colder, and wind is really starting to blow a little bit, which we can talk about what that factor may.
We're going to be in a press box this afternoon.
Yeah, that is
correct?
true. Yes,
God,
Mark will
right.
be too as well.
I mean, listen, you are dressed for polar weather. If you walk right out there, it feels like about 65 degrees.
I do have 3 layers of Squirtle stuff on between the polo, the jacket, and the outer jacket. I am definitely Squirtled out today. So.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad we were able to get you that gear. What we're going to do first is I'm going to let each of these guys introduce themselves to you, starting on the far end. Hunter, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do?
All right, obviously I'm Hunter Shepard. I'm a photographer and videographer, do a little bit of writing for Vite Plus here and there, and yeah, looking forward for this game.
Mark
Rogers, help out with Squirtle from time to time. I'll be calling the game today on the NFHS Network and work at the Sports Animal in Oklahoma City 11 to 2.
And I'm Tom Nelson, doing Squirtle games for the last 5 years or so, and we'll do the low rent version of the broadcast today. You got to pay to get Mark, but we'll do ours for free. So we're going the cheap route.
Okay, so the way we're going to break this down is we're going to talk about each team individually. We're going to cover team stats. We're going to start with Hooker. We're going to kind of do a recap of their season, talk about their season, and then we're going to move to a defensive session about Hooker, offensive session, then we'll repeat that for Fairview. So now we'll pull up a little slide here for Hooker. So Hooker on the season. And Tom, just if you want to talk to about just some of these stats that stick out to you and maybe some things that you want to mention.
Well, Hooker, as you see, 12-2 on the season. They've won their 10 straight games. Their last loss was to Fairview. That was a game that was in the Panhandle. Their other loss this season was, and you might not know them, but a season-opening loss to Sunray, Texas. Sunray, Texas ended up going they go 12-2 this year and made it to the state semifinals in Texas Class 2A Division II. They were one step away from going and playing in Jerry World, the state championship, so that's not a bad loss at all. But I know that I talked to Coach this week, and also I know that I saw in some media that Cleet Martins, the quarterback, talked about how they had to regroup after that Fairview loss, and they had to make the decision, do we let that game bring us down, or do we just move on forward and come together closer as a team? Well, obviously, they came together closer as a team. So, and they've been rolling in these 10 games since they lost to Fairview back in September.
Mark?
It's a young team. I think confidence is a big issue in this game because you've had Fairview blow them out in consecutive games. We had the game last year, Adam. You and I did it in Fairview. It wasn't competitive, and then the game was even less competitive this year at Hooker, where Fairview just rolled them in the first half. But they're playing much better. It's a matchup really that's heavily weighted to Fairview and experience. So I'm curious to see how it goes today. Hooker definitely has, I think, a little bit of a chip on its shoulder, which can be a great motivational factor in sports.
Okay, so let's move on to some another slide here. We're going to go to Hooker's defensive highlights. We're going to be mentioning some of these players here, but Tom, tell me what you think about some of the key players that Hooker has on their side of the ball.
Well, they've got these four linebackers, the two middle linebackers, Aiden Woolridge and then Peyton Parker. They're really good. I mean, Woolridge 148 tackles, Peyton Parker over 100 tackles as well. And then you look at the TFLs. I mean, 25 for Nate Hidalgo. Parker's got 22. Woolridge, 15. This is a very physical football team, and I know that's what Coach is expecting. This week they've been, and that is something that I know Coach Bernard said when they played him the first time, that they had really increased, and they're a more physical team now than they've been in the past. And you take a look at some of those guys, Hidalgo and Parker and Woolridge, and then Keelan Robinson. He's a stud, state champion in the 200 meters in 2A as Hooker won that state championship in track last year. That means they're very fast, they're very athletic, and I really think that this is not going to be the kind of game that we saw, back in September. I think that Hooker comes in with a lot more confidence, and if they can keep Fairview from getting off of that quick start, and I know we're talking on this broadcast, I'm kind of the devil's advocate here, but we'll talk about, I'll say some good things about Hooker because they're a darn good football team. But I think if they can keep Fairview from getting that quick start, their defense, slow down the stable of receivers, and of course Jax Bernard, I think this can be a good ball game.
Mark, what do you see on the defensive side for Hooker? Stands out.
Well, I see a massive challenge. They're going to go up against the cheat code and Jax Bernard. The Fairview scheme is great. They do a lot of what, like Jeff Levy does at Oklahoma. They spread the field out and they let Jax make decisions. Can he run it? Could he hand it off? There's a lot of space on the field, and so that creates wide lanes. He's got an incredibly strong arm that most high school quarterbacks don't have and most high school defensive backs aren't used to adjusting to. So he can really get the ball across the field to open receivers. They've got incredible speed out there. You have to know where Isaiah Burris is all the time. So it's a good combination of Hooker, of strength and speed. This, as Tom mentioned, they've had a great track program for a lot of years there in Hooker. They're always competitive in that sport. But they've seen the Fairview offense enough, but stopping it, different deal.
So I think that's a key. I think the familiarity in this situation helps Hooker as opposed to somebody else that Fairview might be playing today from across the state or something like that, because it is so hard to scheme for Fairview because of the great quarterback and all of the weapons. But if anybody can do it, it's a team that's familiar with Fairview. That's why I think Hooker has a good shot, in that side of the ball.
Yeah, great analysis. So obviously, speaking of weapons, let's talk about some of Hooker's weapons on the offensive side of the ball real quick, and we'll get an overview from both Tom and Mark on what their thoughts are about some of these key players to watch for Hooker this afternoon.
Justin Fleisch's a freshman.
Yeah.
So he's had a good season at the varsity level. That's a lot to ask of a young kid to go in there and play that way. And then Cleet Martins has started at quarterback there for 3 seasons, is a really good player. So I think a big challenge for them today is in the last couple of weeks, Fairview has forced its opponents into a ton of turnovers. And so they have got to possess the football. They can't make mistakes. And that's the first thing I think that Hooker has to think about today.
Yeah, Cleet Martins, you look at his numbers right there, a dual threat quarterback. He's thrown for over 1,300 and rushed for over 1,100. He is the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. But Justin Palacios, that freshman, I can't wait to see him. I've been watching his numbers accumulate all year long. almost 1,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, almost 10 yards a carry, which in 11-man football is very impressive. Of course, they do a lot of 8-man games. You see that a little bit more in 8-man. And then the two receivers, Trace Duncan and Braxton Burge, they're both right there. You know, the numbers are pretty much even, and both averaging right around, 15 yards per catch, and they've combined for 11 touchdowns. So there's some weapons on that offensive side, and, it's going to be Cleet Martins having an efficient day is key, and then the freshman, Justin Palacios, getting over 100 yards rushing is going to be key as well.
Tom, or Mark, you have anything else to add to that?
How can you add to what Tom says? I mean, I hate going after Tom. I like going before Thomas. He always is going to add more. So, no.
Well, then I'll go to you on the next one.
Tom is prepared and ready to roll.
I will say this. Tom mentioned it. One thing that stands out to me is just the stats, obviously the big stats on Hooker's side. We're going to see some similar things on Fairview's side. But one thing, it doesn't surprise me that Hooker's here. Just looking at defensively and offensively, the type of athletes and kids they have, we see them a lot throughout the year in both basketball and football. And they always have, really strong, really athletic kids. And they do a great job on their weight program too as well. So
one thing that I think Hooker is playing for today, they're playing for the no man's land. They're playing for the Panhandle.
Yep.
Those people way out there, they'd have to travel a lot. They like their high school sports. Whenever they're playing a big game, they usually have to travel a long way, and they all kind of band together. I was hearing that there were signs in Guyman saying "Go Bulldogs" and things like that, and that Texhoma had delivered some snacks and such over as well. So those
District
teams out
foe.
in the Panhandle,
They're going the wrong way if they're going to Guyman. I don't know how they get those. I don't know where those guys.
Well, you got to go to McDonald's somewhere out there.
Right,
well,
so.
and obviously Major County / kind of Blaine County could play some football with Sealing getting a victory last night. That town is just 30 miles west of Fairview. A lot of familiarity between those two communities too as well, and they hoisted a gold ball up. One thing I want to say real quick is congrats to Trevor Powers and his coaching staff. He has done a fantastic job this year. He's a great coach. He's had his team on the cusp many times throughout the year with great teams, and I think just he's getting some more experience too. He was a younger coach a few years ago, and I think he's really dialed the whole get everything together and has done a great job this season with this Hooker team. Before we move to Fairview, that's kind of what I wanted to mention.
Yeah, Trevor Powers, 7th year in the program, 66 wins and 20 losses. He's built that program up, and that's not an easy place to win out there. It's all the travel that can wear on you, and playing schools that in Texas and in Kansas sometimes that they don't get a chance to play as many Oklahoma schools until the playoffs start, but. It's always good we can go out and throw on a Sunray Texas who's going to play for a state or compete for a state championship in Texas as well. They play pretty good football down there across the border. So.
Yeah. Well, no doubt. Well, good luck to the Hooker Bulldogs this afternoon. We're going to move on to Fairview. We'll look at this team stats slide first, and obviously the defending state champion Fairview Yellow Jackets. Tom, we're going to start with Mark this time. We're going to start with Mark first. Mark, what sticks out to you on this slide that you see here?
52-9.
Yeah.
It's pretty good as far as point differential. 727 points scored, and this Fairview team's just been on a roll. I mean, they were 11-1 the year previous. So if you put all that together with the 29-game winning streak, it's 40 out of 41 the last 3 years when Jax Bernard's been the quarterback there. So this is going to be a tough team to beat.
Tom?
I really think, and I saw Jax play as a freshman. I saw him play once last year, and I saw him last week. So just to watch his growth, of course, coach's son. He plays like a coach's son, and to watch his growth has been outstanding. We'll talk about that in just a second. But, 29 wins in a row. You go back to the 21 season. Their last loss was that playoff loss to Tonkawa at the end of the 21 season. They've not lost since. And this is a program that, they took the baby steps. In 2020 during COVID, they were 3-8, then 11-1, 15-0. And now 14-0 going into this one. And the numbers, 52-9, your average score. And, of course, they're going for a state championship number 4, going back to 1946, 1999, then last year. And this series, we talked about this a little bit already. Since 2010, which that's as far back as I could go. I was at the game. I figured they'd probably played before 2010, but maybe not. That's as far as they went back. And Fairview leads that series 10-4. And, of course, that last game was a big win for Fairview. But going back and looking, the last time that Hooker won in this series was 2020, and they won big 54-16. So 2020, there might be a few of those seniors who were freshmen back then on that team.
That's true. Okay, we'll move on to our next slide here. Ella We'll talk about Fairview's defense. One of the things I mentioned, and I mentioned this a minute ago, is I think obviously the offense for Fairview gets a ton of exposure, and then they talk a lot about Jax and the skill players he has around him with Burris and Martins and Strader and the line and all that stuff. But I really think probably one of the most undervalued sides of Fairview is their defense. I feel like they have incredible team speed, a lot of great strength. They're really good tacklers, very opportunistic. They force a lot of fumbles, and so I want to take it over to Mark, and he's going to give us kind of his take on Fairview's defense.
Well, everybody that's playing in the final game of the year is in the same fraternity. That is that they're really disciplined, I think, for the most part on defense. They don't get out of position. I've seen Fairview play many times. They're not fooled by play action. They're great on the edge. They don't give up containment. And then they really come downhill and play hard. They're not big, but they're physical. So that's I think both these teams will play the same way today on that side of the football. I know that Coach Bernard is always very complimentary of his linebackers. Miller and Wheeler, those guys are good players there. And Brant Strader had a great game when we saw them against Stroud a couple of weeks ago. So it's a defense that you're gonna have to come by yards honestly and be physical and to try to move those guys around.
What I saw Fairview do last week in that win over Woodland defensively, and I heard it said earlier on this show, and you said it too, you think about Fairview, you think about that high-powered offense, but last week, opening kickoff, fumble, turned it over, and Hooker had the ball in Fairview territory to start the ball game. They get all the way down into the red zone. I think it was a big sack on 4th down, ended that drive. Then Woodland was in the red zone a couple other times. There was a couple of turnovers and interception as well. Fairview's defense had their back against the wall a little bit last week, and they stepped up and played very, very well. That showed me a lot because we don't talk about that defense very much, and maybe we should. But they had a chance to make big stops last week, and they did it. They won the turnover battle, and Gilchrist and Bowden Miller, those two linebackers, they're studs. Back over 100 tackles. Micah Wheeler, he had a great game last week as well. And the defensive end, Trace Bonham, Strader. You got 5 studs right there, and looking forward to seeing them this afternoon.
Well, Mark mentioned it, and so did Tom just now, but I think one of the first slides when we looked at it is the point differential, and you see a very low average score giving up on one end. And with these spread offenses nowadays, and the fact that we know that Fairview, a lot of their games, they didn't play more than a half, and it shows how good they are on the defensive side of the ball because they're not giving up a lot of points, and ultimately that's the goal. So.
Well, I mean, and you look at it, go back and see, they did in the regular season, there were some games I'm sure that it was seconds and thirds playing quite a bit, giving up some points. But since Fairview got into the playoffs, 62-6 over Hobart, the 19-7 win over Crescent, that showed me a lot because we know how good Crescent is. And then Stroud, that surprisingly big spread on the Stroud game. And then last week just shutting down Woodland, that showed me a lot.
I don't know who's colder, Adam, you or Ella. I mean, you got to send her to Camden. Looks like he's hanging in there pretty good. He's going with the iced tea, but
they're not using much ice in the iced tea today. You don't need it.
Yeah, really
well, let's move over to the offensive slide for Fairview. Now, obviously, on the offensive side, you've heard us mention some of these guys' names, but man, some of these stats just explode off this paper, just like what we saw on the competition with Hooker. But Mark, tell me what you think about what you see here. I know obviously you've been able to cover a handful of Fairview games already this year, and so talk about what you think of Fairview's offense.
Well, Isaiah Burris also is a kick returning specialist. Yes. You can't kick it to him because he'll bring it back. It was great. When we had the game against Crescent, ask him listen, I still know my stats from high school. He didn't even know how many kicks he'd returned this year for a touchdown. 4. It was more than that. I think he said it had 8. I mean,
yeah, maybe kicks and punts.
Yeah,
both.
No, he's up there almost double digits. But Jax Bernard, 47 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had a couple of picks in one game earlier this year in the Crescent game, and just didn't kind of throw the football very well early on. But that's about maybe a 5-minute stretch of the 6 games I've seen him play that he didn't play just great football. So he can run if he needs to. He's great at making decisions. He's on the same page with his dad. He's got a lot of experience, and so I think that's clearly what makes Fairview a team that's tough to beat.
Well, when I was making those stats, I didn't think I would have room, and it looks like I did. I could have put on Brant Strader as well.
Oh, definitely.
But I limited it. I could have put him on there as well. But yeah, Jax, the product of those numbers are the talent that he has around him. He's got so many weapons around him, and that's what we saw last week. Quick drop, quick finding those guys open. Those guys have played together so long; they know where everybody is going to be on the field, and that is where I think that that maybe Hooker, because they've played Fairview multiple times, they might, defensively, I don't say they're going to have an edge, but I think that might keep this game a little closer than most people think it might be. But, Jackson's had a huge year. And the thing is, how about the 740 yards rushing? We knew he could throw the football. He's really developed that running game, becoming a dual-threat quarterback since I saw him as a freshman. And then Burris is a stud. Boy, he caught a touchdown pass last week that was beautiful. And then Grant Church does enough in the running game to keep him honest. Over 600 yards rushing, a pretty solid 5.2 yards a carry. So, offensively, just a lot of weapons, and, of course, a great offensive line to protect everybody and keep everybody clean, too.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I saw last week when we covered the Hara game, outside of just everything that you two both mentioned, was something interesting from Coach Bernard, kind of a wrinkle. He brought in Micah Wheeler into the backfield, and Wheeler is a more dynamic athlete, and that may be something to look at. A lot of these teams late in the year, they move people around. That was one thing I heard that Bernard had mentioned to me about Hooker, like what's making the difference with them outside of just confidence and getting things rolling. They're healthy. Their quarterback's healthy. They've moved some guys around to some other positions. They're relying on some guys now they weren't relying on as much early in the year. Fairview's pretty much, done it the same way with the same guys. But, look for Coach Bernard. He's got athletes at his discretion. You may see Michael Wheeler in the backfield tonight in this game. So with that being said, you can switch back to our screen, Ella. Lastly, what I would like to do, and I'm going to start at the end, is I'm going to start with Hunter down here because Hunter covers high school sports. He's going to be covering this game today. He'll also be covering the Washington-Millwood game. So, Hunter, let's talk about the Fairview-Hooker game, and what are your thoughts on the game, and what are maybe some of the keys to the game that you think, and then maybe if you want to and you don't have to, a prediction.
Well, I think for Hooker, you want to get the run game going. They are pretty good in the QB run game. They're good in all around, got dynamic athletes. Now, I do think wind could play a factor in some of the deep throws because we know Fairview likes to go deep a lot. So it would be interesting to see how the wind affects what Fairview does offensively. And like I said, both these two teams met in A1 district play back on week 4. I think it could be a different game now. It would be interesting to see how the wind plays in favor of this game.
Mark?
I think we're going to have 2 good games today. So Hunter brought up a really good point. It is very windy.
Yeah.
And so some of that passing attack, and again, Fairview likes to throw the ball across the field because they got a quarterback that has arm strength that can do it. So that might be something that could limit the offense today.
A couple of keys for me in this one. First of all, for Fairview, they need to match Hooker's physicality, which I think they can. And then on Hooker's side, they've got to limit the quick start early on for Fairview. They can't allow that quick start. I think it's going to be huge. I think that this game will be closer than the one that happened in September because I just think what happens when a team plays somebody else a second time around in a big game like this, both teams elevate, and I think Hooker will elevate today. And I think it'll be a closer one. I'm not going to say that Hooker's going to win. I would probably lean toward Fairview, but I think it will be a closer game than 56-22.
I'll give you a key. If this game is over at 3 o'clock, Hooker will win. If this game's over at 3:45, then Fairview will win because Hooker will want to control the tempo, and Fairview's offense likes to move fast, and it's really tough to make adjustments because they're so used to playing together. But if they can control the clock and the tempo, and we have a fast game today with the clock running, then I think Hooker's going to be in it.
That's such a good point, Mark, because I honestly I give Woodland a lot of credit last week, and Tom and I called that game. They were doing exactly what they needed to do to win that game. Unfortunately, they just turned the ball over too much. I mean, Fairview only had 3 possessions in the first half, but they scored on every one of them. But limiting Fairview's the time that they have the ball and being able to sustain long drives and keep the ball out of that explosive offense's hands, that's my biggest key to the game. The other part about that, too, is the emotion. You guys, Mark, you've covered hundreds of these games, and Tom, you've covered a lot of them, too, and Hunter, same as well. But we see so many times in these games, the shift of emotion, the turnovers, the injuries, little things like that could play into this game. Obviously, we wish no injury on anybody, but a lot of times we see that in these kind of games. Heritage Hall had that experience, had that happen to them this year. We've seen it in a lot of these games, so I think that's another thing to keep an eye on. If this game goes into halftime, and it's a one-score game or even Hooker's up, I think it could be a battle to the end. But like Tom said, I think if Fairview jumps out on them early and kind of reins back that confidence that Hooker's been building up, and they start thinking in the back of their head, 50-20 or whatever it was, I think Fairview will win convincingly if that happens. So that's
Here's what excites me about this afternoon. This is the first time because of work obligations I've had a chance to be at a state football championship football game in a while, and first time to call one in a while as well. And I've been to one game since they moved all the games to UCO, and I think that that's an unbelievable facility. And for Class A, Class 2A, Class 3A football, where the whole town show up, the atmosphere is going to be second to none, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, great atmosphere last night with Sealing and Velma. That place was packed at SNU.
Okay, so last thing, Hunter, let everybody know out there where they can follow you or get your information. You do a great job with photography and write-ups, so just let them know what you'll be doing as far as coverage for these two games.
All right, so obviously I'll probably be doing some video because that's my specialty for football. You can just look up Hunter Shepard on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at TheCoolDude52 for like updates. I post a lot of my videos on Instagram at hunter.shepard as well. And that's just that's just quite a few places you can find my work at.
How in the heck did you get Cool Dude on Twitter? You would have thought that would have been gone a long time ago.
It's just what I came up with in high school. It's just what I came up with in high school.
And Mark, if you'll let everybody know where they can hear you this evening, too, as well.
Okay, it'll be at nfhs.org. There's a subscription fee on there, but really high-quality broadcast. It's just basically will look like you're watching the game on ESPN. So if you want to see two good games today, I think that it'd be worth your time.
Tom, you want to let everyone know where to watch us on Squirtle?
Right here.
Right here on Squirtle.
FairviewYellowJackets.tv, of course, Squirtle.tv, and however many other places we have when I lose track. I just talk about it. So.
Yeah, and just so some of the fans that might be casual fans that are out there watching tonight, Mark will also be covering the Washington-Millwood game on the NFHS network.
It's going to be a good one.
WashingtonWarriors.tv and their crew, they do a fantastic job. They are going to be doing a similar audio GameCast broadcast. That's their student-led community broadcast. So TJ Scholes and his crew will be covering that game tonight as well. And I'm telling you, if you're a casual football fan out there, you're a Fairview fan. I know you. If you win the game, you're going to be celebrating, but you need to be tuning in at 7 o'clock for that Millwood-Washington game tonight because that's going to be a heck of a football game.
Last one of the season. Hey, Hunter and I got to get out of here. We're
All
going
right.
to be late.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Well, I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, and we are done with our show. And thank everybody. And we be sure to tune in to Squirtle.tv and the Squirtle app because you'll be hearing this state championship game soon.